Yeah, that's fine. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode. This is episode number 68. We will be covering the recent news. Well, I say cover. There's going to be 3 articles that we will be going over in today's episode. Also, we will be watching an interview briefly on GB News because lo and behold, Graham Linehan was back in the UK,
No, we need to
who was
fucking get out of life.
charged with harassment of the 17-year-old trans girl.
I think that has anything to do with because it was because he harassed someone. Like, do you think
Yeah,
maybe that was it?
he a few, probably closer to 4 months now. He sexually assaulted and harassed a 17-year-old trans girl
Yeah.
because, Glinda has nothing better to do. And
As you
he
do
was,
if you're an absolute fucking cunt.
yep, and he was recently charged as of yesterday or the day before at a
Good.
court hearing. And obviously, whilst he was in the UK, he stopped off at GB News alongside bargain basement Marilyn Monroe, Kellie-Jay. But
Yeah, that's great.
we will probably get to that after covering the 3 articles. But before that, we will
Yeah.
also kick off with what you wanted to um discuss.
Yeah. Let's rock and roll. I just need to do one little quick thing, which is that I don't want to blah 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 blah. Non-video fetish. Hide self-view. No, definitely not. Um, I wanted to like cut the my aspect ratio. I do not like my aspect ratio, but maybe I cannot do that. Okay, who gives a shit? Me and no one else. Like nobody cares about what aspect ratio I have. Dun, 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 dun. Adjust background pictures. Shit, fuck it. Hi, anyway. So I've been working on something, as I do, as I tend to do every so often. Um, for those of you who know me, you know that I tend to have my little projects. Last time it was last thing I showed as one of my projects. Ah, that's better. Woo! Except I'm very, very orange. I am extremely orange. Hi. Anyway, last thing I showed as a sort of one of these things that I do was that I think that was like my Art the Clown video, right?
Yeah,
Uh, like when I play guitar and poorly I might add. I just want to say that I recorded that fucking video. I actually recorded on like bullshit equipment, so to speak. No, I didn't record it on bullshit equipment. Yeah, I did. I recorded it on a fucking VHS camera. But I also like recorded at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was so fucking tired that I like forgot half of the words. Uh, then I edited it at like 5 o'clock in the morning. But in other news, I just want to say very quickly. Um, Not in other news. I can't speak. I've forgotten how to fucking speak because I didn't do this for 2 weeks. That's a bad. I need to switch cameras because I can't be fucked with this. Blur my background. I just can't. I'm sorry. I am going to be like just hold on for a second and I'll be done with this. FaceTime camera, maybe. No, that's worse. I think that was worse. I think that was actually worse. Fuck. 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 That was
yeah.
bad. Okay. Fuck it. I'll be doing this then. Anyway. I might adjust it later. Fine. But I'm sitting here in front of the most horrifying fucking image I've ever seen. And I want to show you what I've been doing lately. And what I've been doing lately is episode 2 of my clip show, Max's Anathema, which is, I think the second episode is titled In Bad Taste and with Worse Judgment. But I don't really remember what I named it. But I think I have it ready to go. I just need to start it there. No, don't go full screen on that yet. I am going to share. And this is how far I've gotten. So this is a little quick test, and I want to run by you, not kind people. Dun, 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 dun. Share. Can you see it now?
Yeah,
Like, yeah, do you see it well? Like,
yeah.
you enjoy, are you enjoying what you're seeing? Sorry, that was weird of me. Um, no, I didn't. There we go. So I can't. Oh, fuck. Okay. Anyway, this is the second episode of Magnus Anathema in bad taste and with very poor judgment. It's a rough cut of it. It is um, mainly going to focus on uh, us as ah, it's mainly going to focus on us as we talk about the butterfly effect.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, so let's enjoy that. And I do this because I am a sucker for getting live reactions, and I have enjoyed Torrance reactions every time that I've showed something. So let's rock and roll. If you remember the first one, it was uh, extremely poor taste. So let's do a worse one.
Why not?
I had no idea how long I'd been doing that joke. Going hard for the horror thing.
Yeah, that fucking film. Fucking terrible.
Yeah.
At least we don't have to review any of the others.
Yeah, just wait until I force you to watch like Butterfly Effect 3.
Uh, I mean, I'll probably watch it just for the
Yeah.
fun of it, given how bad it will be. But yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yep. You can see the evolution that has
Yeah.
evolved
Yeah.
from when we first began.
Yeah. I'm so happy about this. No, no, no. Okay. Uh, I'm sorry. It's supposed to say, stop sharing. I'm sorry. First and foremost, it's supposed to say, I'm a wee child. And I'm a wee child, and then the mother is supposed to respond with, all. No, no, I'm a wee bairn because for some reason I made him fucking Scottish. It's the same thing. It's I don't know if you saw it, but in the sort of the thing that it says when it's the when he's playing with the dog is I love my dog and didn't care what I do if some conk buried him to fucking buried him to fucking crisp they can. Like, I don't know why I did that. And then he says and then he says to his mother, I'm a wee bairn for
Yeah,
some
we
fucking
bang.
reason.
Yeah, we
Yeah, wee
bang.
bairn. Uh, and she responds with wait, hold on. I just need to add that in. I'm a wee bairn, and she's supposed to respond with, "Fuck, did that go away? Oh, too bad." Because she's supposed to respond with, "Yeah." Göra weekend. Göra weekend is all yes you can. So that's what's supposed to be said there. And I think that's genuinely like some of my best work. I love that shit. But you know, some
Yeah.
people won't appreciate me. One day you're all going to see how, like, one day everyone's going to understand my greatness.
Yeah.
But
Trust me.
that's the. What did you think about it? Did you enjoy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
just a word of warning to those
yeah.
of you who have gotten accustomed to our chaos. That on the next episodes of Max's and Anathema, yes, there will be more, I assure you.
Yeah.
Uh, they may become more chaotic as they go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So be warned.
Yeah, because like there were at least some moments of the last one that weren't like broken.
Yeah,
But this time it's just like um but I'm thinking of like also doing like tinier, like more condensed versions. But this is something that I've been like playing around with, and I need to get better at editing for doing it to do that. But like because when I do the anathemas, um, I say this as if I've done loads of them. I've done one and a half. Uh,
yeah,
but like when I do the anathemas, my thought is that when we're speaking, I cut out all the sort of weird pauses and the
oh yeah,
yeah, the ums and ahs to make it flow better. And I do also cut out every false start, except for sometimes because for some reason there will be moments where I'll just say shit like, and that becomes very
yeah,
funny to edit. But other than that, I tend to like, I use, I will do this instead. But other than that, I tend to use more, why am I so shiny? Oh, hold on. Better. Fucking finally. I had to like remove a light from the ceiling. Anyway, but like when I do some, I've been thinking about doing like other more condensed versions of our episodes to just like highlight and do some fun edits with it that aren't
yeah,
like me doing the clip show styles, but me rather editing them through as per episode. Because but yeah, in the anathemas, this is just me like trying to see how much shit I can get away with in that way,
yeah,
and it will still be posted to YouTube with no problem. Like in the last one, I had images of myself getting shot in the head while by myself while on a bridge. I had a commercial for suicide,
yeah.
a fetus getting thrown into a grinder, myself then. Uh, do you know what my favorite part of that whole thing is, though? And it's just like the part about me in the first one. There's a part where I become Scrooge McDuck, and I say, "Yeah, I'm
Oh
a
yeah,
great
yeah,
fucking component. I'm a great fucking proponent for capitalism." And it just turns me into Scrooge McDuck diving into the monies, into the
yeah,
coins. And that's like my favorite bit of that entire fucking episode. It's none of the like weird shit, and also that when I say I'm so happy that you have street preachers, because for a second I lose my fucking mind. I believe that Sweden don't have street preachers, despite them being every fucking where around Stockholm. And when I say that, there's just a street preacher walking around behind outside my window, and that took so long time to edit to have the background, but not like the boss of the window. And like to have him in the middle there. So I had to like do layer upon layer upon layer. And it took me like a full day to edit, like which what turns out to be like 2 seconds in the video because I had to learn how to
yeah,
fucking do that. So that's kind of like but I like doing these. It just takes a long time and like I've been working on this one for a few days. But it's nowhere near done. Um
yeah, yeah,
I would say that I do also tend to like I have this weird mythos about like that being the podcast that is shown in the Max Anathema is like a podcast between a human being and a weird fucking chaos deity, which is why all the edits are like on me. Like
Yeah,
because it's some weird like that's my head canon
yeah,
of it. And just like this poor you trying to rein in fucking
yeah,
a chaotic deity.
and
Not too
yeah,
far from the truth, but yeah, they will become like more chaotic. And
yeah,
um, I do not care about taste in them. Like genuinely, that's the I what I try to see how much I can get away with. And that when I say that, I
yeah.
don't mean like before Torrent stops me, because clearly Torrent doesn't fucking stop me.
No,
He's he's gotten so
no,
normal. My fucking antics has gotten so normalized by now for him that it's just like regular stuff. What I'm saying is that before I get a fucking death threat from a viewer, like
so I'm gonna say this now.
yeah.
If they haven't worked, if they haven't worked this out yet, I'm gonna say this. Um, I mean, I shouldn't know how to say this because I think it's pretty obvious, but
Yeah.
both me and Max, we have a very, very gallows sense of humor.
Yeah.
So, and this all stems from whatever bullshit we've been through. This is how we cope. So, if this is not for you, which if you've stuck around this
I
long,
get it
maybe
is.
it is,
But you
but if
know,
it
if you
is,
found us just now, like you
yeah,
imagine imagine finding us, imagine like just stumbling upon this podcast. What a fucking experience that would be, wouldn't it?
yeah, yeah. So yeah, we have a very, very gallows sense of humor. And if you don't like that, then there is always other podcasts you can listen to that is more to your liking.
Yeah,
If not,
the
welcome.
podcast in which the host.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, if you're new around here, welcome. You can sit with us.
yeah.
Uh,
Uh, talking of gallows humor, because it's been needed for the past 3, 4 days.
yeah,
Again, we've been living.
I've been going through shit at work,
Mm,
which uh, uh, I can just okay. So without saying too much, I'm no longer working at the place I used to. Like I have a month left and then I leave. And it's through an agreement that makes me kind of have an NDA about it. It's nothing wrong on the fault. It's nothing on the fault of me. It's nothing on the fault of them. It's just that we don't see eye to eye on fundamental parts about being a teacher anymore, because there was a change up in the process there. But like I've been going through that for the past weeks. That's why I wasn't
yeah,
able to record the first episode, and then like last week I had been going through so much fucking bullshit at work surrounding that, and then I realized that I'm not going to be able to like perform this interview thing. Like I'm going to be that's not going to be healthy for me to talk about that.
yeah,
So that's why I jumped off, because I've been in a bad place.
yeah. That's fine.
I'm good now because it's like
Yeah,
over. We had a meeting and I get a fucking great settlement.
that's
I
awesome.
will be handed like 6 months salary in my fucking hand.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mentioned
But so like
to
I'm completely out of the loop, like more than I usually am.
uh, because I mentioned to Trey Brown that obviously I didn't go into detail because know,
Yeah.
but yeah. So yeah. So for the past 3, 4 days, bec- because of the ruling, which is fucking stupid. But anyway,
Yeah.
uh, a lesbian has been kicked out. A lesbian in a hotel was kicked out of the hotel for being, in quotes, a man. So this woman, a cisgender woman, for all of
Yeah.
you trans folks out there, cis is means straight. So a cisgender woman, Ansley Baker, was staying at the Liberty Hotel in Upmarket, Beacon Hill, with her girlfriend Lisa Victor. When the incident occurred on Saturday afternoon, 3rd of May, both had booked in as part of a party watching the Kentucky Derby and were using the female toilet when a male security guard began banging on the store doors, they claimed. One of the incomers again, one of the security guards was there telling me to get out of the bathroom, telling me I am a man in the women's bathroom. I told him I was a woman. CBS News reported Baker saying Baker claimed that she was moved before she had a chance to finish tying her shorts, which was humiliating, and was accused of not being a woman by others as she was escorted past them as they waited in line to use toilets.
Yeah.
Someone said, "Get him out of here. He's a creep," referring to me.
These people are fucking jokes.
Yeah. The
Only
security
they're not
guard,
funny.
yeah, then checked their IDs, and the situation became heated, resulting in the two women being asked to leave the hotel, part of the Marriott Bonvoy Rewards program altogether. In an initial statement issued on Monday, 5th of May, a spokesperson for the hotel accused the pair of sharing a stall. Again, in inverted commas, an incident occurred at the Liberty Hotel on Saturday, where several women alerted security of two adults sharing a bathroom stall. The bathroom was cleared out as two adults in one stall are not permitted after leaving the bathroom. A member
Well,
of the couple from the stall put their hands on our security team, and it was then that they were removed from the premises. The Liberty has a zero tolerance policy for any physical altercations on our property. The safety of our guests and staff is our priority, and this event is under investigation. Here and here we have typical, you know, speak. A spokesperson said the Liberty Hotel is and always will be an ally of the LGBTQ plus community and a place where everyone
yeah.
is welcome and celebrated. Yet you kicked out a lesbian because your
Yeah.
security guard thought she was a man. How is that? Yeah, whatever. Uh,
Yeah, really, that's like what's it?
we will we will continue to educate and train our team to ensure that everyone feels safe and accepted within our four walls, and guests who do not show tolerance and acceptance towards others will be removed. Yeah, it's funny that's something that I always expect from someone.
Yeah.
Clearly doesn't mean what they say, but yeah. So and we won't delve into obviously the ruling because I did that when I interviewed Jay Brown, and quite frankly, I
Yeah.
don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, but I just want to say, like, I am good now. Like, if that's but I get if you don't want to do that. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out if there's like a way to fucking. Uh, adjust the white balance on this camera. That's what I'm trying to like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you
Um.
do that before? Shouldn't you do that before you start recording an episode? Yeah, I would, the listener that I just made up in my head, if I was a professional. But I'm a fucking catastrophe. Jesus
uh.
Christ, learn your fucking methods, like
Yeah.
mythos. I mean, like
Um.
this isn't.
The next one is a newly proposed amendment to the UK's data bill has left trans people across the UK extremely concerned about their privacy. I think trans people
Yeah.
are concerned about their well-being and safety at this very moment, especially in the UK.
Yeah, one
um,
would think so, wouldn't one?
yeah. Um, so changes to the Data Use and Access Bill proposed over the weekend would drastically change the way data on sex and gender is collected in the UK. Proposed by Shadow Technology Minister and Tory MP Dr. Ben Spencer, the amendments would force public authorities to collect data on members of the public on the basis of sex at birth rather than through up-to-date documentation. If passed, the amendments could force public bodies, including the NHS and the DVLA, to update sex data to match sex at birth rather than using gender recognition documents, such as a Gender Recognition Certificate, GRC, which allows trans people to update their legal gender on personal documents. Not only
Yeah.
would this forcibly out every trans person on public record, but it could also see inaccurate data completely erased and vital documents of trans people, including medical records, purged entirely. It comes after a review into gender data collection in the UK argued that acknowledging GRCs has resulted in a quote widespread loss of data on sex and requested authorities use again biological sex as an indicator instead.
Huh?
uh, the review was heavily criticised as biased and factually incorrect, but hey, MPs, politicians don't care about facts. By non-profit groups,
They rarely, if ever, do that, don't they?
no,
Isn't that
exactly,
like, yeah, like
non-profit
uh,
groups who argued that lead professor Dr. Alice Sullivan's associated association with gender critical group Sex Matters compromised her position. You know what fucking say?
uh,
A vote on whether to pass the amendments is set to take place on Wednesday, 7th of May, in anticipation of the amended bill's final passage into law. Uh, so yeah,
really.
um,
What a
ju-
surprise! What a twist!
yeah, journalist and
Uh,
trans influencer India Willoughby called the amendments pure persecution in a series of posts asking how will they actually reclaim or cancel passports. Others have noted that the amendments also violate multiple laws, including the Gender Recognition Act, the 2010 Equality Act, the Human Rights Act, and is also a breach of GDPR. So yeah, that is the proposed amendment to the UK data bill.
yeah, and I have finally fucking. I'm sorry I've been so like I'm testing out new technology while we're doing this. That's why. But
that's
I
right.
finally found like white panels that fucking works, which made me like so happy. So now I can focus on being a real person again. I'm a real boy. No, Pinocchio, you're not. You're a wooden doll. Uh, have you? I remember a joke that I heard. Like my mother's boyfriend loved to tell this one joke about Pinocchio when we were kids, which was like Pinocchio, Snow White has been fired from Disney. She was found standing crouching above the face of Pinocchio, screaming, "Lie, you motherfucker, lie!" Now I'm focused.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I guess we will have to wait a week, maybe two,
yeah,
to see if that
sounds like it.
amendment bill has passed. Which
Yeah.
again,
Like I'm
all
hoping
of these
for
attacks,
better tomorrows.
yeah,
I
all of
genuinely do.
these attacks in the media by politicians, they are just using trans people as a scapegoat.
Oh, they
Because
very, very much are.
yeah, because
Like,
like
I want to
I'm
make that
sorry,
clear
but
to like anyone who
yeah,
believes that like this is not about like scapegoating because you need like unity needs an enemy. You're
yeah,
a fucking idiot, and you should grow the fuck up. Like genuinely, like grow the fuck up. Learn how to not be naive little idiots. If you genuinely believe that the politicians do that out of like I don't know some weird kindness of the fucking heart,
yeah.
you're a moron.
But we we on this podcast rarely ever get political. Right, the only time that we ever get political
Like
is now.
party political. We
Well,
don't
yeah,
do parties
no,
because
is
like technically we are kind of getting political.
yeah,
And
well,
also
yeah,
I
because we have to.
every now and then I will be running around like yelling, throw
Yeah,
Molotov cocktails on government. Like that is a political statement. It's just not one that governments like.
yeah. It's like, and
But yeah,
also
we don't do parliament politics.
no, but it's like whenever transphobes say, oh, especially regarding criminal behavior, they always cite you know statistics that are associated with cis men, right? And all
Yeah,
that. But also, there is no out and out, you know, statistics solely for trans people who have committed offences. There is no data for that specific.
no,
So
no. But
obviously,
like
when you look at
all the data
stats,
that exists,
yeah,
all the data that does exist, points to trans people being the victims of sexual violence, not the
yeah,
perpetrators.
that's it. You know, now
Uh,
again, we have also said on this podcast, whether it's either me or Max, and we have both said that are there trans people who have committed offences? I'm sure there are.
yeah,
Like with any group, there are going to be bad actors.
yeah, bad people who are trans people. Like,
Yeah,
congratulations, you.
like
What a revelatory
they don't
statement.
get a pass. Right, but
Yeah,
what
no,
we're saying is,
nobody gets
like
fucking.
even so, cis people still outpopulate trans people. Therefore, it's
Yeah,
common sense to suggest, not even suggest, it's a fact. Cis men, again, caveat, not all men, right,
no,
commit
no.
sexual offences towards women, trans women, and if you are especially stick in the head, you target children,
Yeah. And I
right?
would say what I've said before about that one. Anyone out there, regardless of your gender, your race, your sexuality, or your political or religious beliefs, or your whatever, regardless of that, anyone out there, and I will look straight into the camera for this one. If you watching this, has ever sexually assaulted or done anything to a child, I do think that you should really, 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 really consider killing yourself. You would make the world a better place by doing so. And I
Or
hope that you will take this advice.
or at least have one or two things cut off.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like at the top, at the very least. Uh, um, I do not believe in hell, but I do wish that you would go to hell. You fucking monster.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
and yeah, that's all. We're gonna say on that because I'm sure in an upcoming episode, I'm sure that something will rear its head again in the news regarding to do with trans people and the law. So I'm sure
Yeah,
again at some
as it
point
is.
we will get political. But until
Yeah,
then,
it's always fun. It's always fun when people assume that I won't like disown. They're
oh
like,
yeah,
oh, but you'll never disown like these people who did bad shit. Like, kind sir, I will disown fucking anyone for anything. Like you've seen me. What was the thing? Do you remember on the New Year's Eve when I just went to
oh
fucking
yeah,
town on what was it I called her? Queen. Ah, fuck. Queen Nobody, Lord
yeah,
Regent of the Lady Regent of the absolute fucking worthless, and also
yeah,
the person who had said but imagine like that because no one was on her side in a conversation where
no.
I told her that I wanted her to fucking die. Imagine losing your virtue competition to the devil. But she was not saying anything bad about trans people. She was a trans person, and she was not doing anything bad to anyone else. She was just like annoying to me personally. And I told her I wanted her to fucking die. You think I
Yeah,
won't disown a trans person for being a piece of shit? Fuck you! I don't agree to. I didn't agree to be a part of any fucking community or anything. I
no,
just happen to be trans, and like
yeah,
I I'm not going to come to the defense of any other trans person if I consider them a piece of shit, even if it's like technically just basically telling me you should probably not tell TERFs that they should die.
yeah,
Which I think is too much. Like, no, I definitely should tell TERFs that they should die because, like, I want to be honest.
yeah. Oh, you want
You
me to
think
honor
J.K.
you?
Rowling deserves death?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you want me to
I
honor
did
honor
threaten her that
you?
once.
Yeah. You want me to honor
Yeah,
you?
don't you remember
Oh
that?
yeah. Well, if you want me to honor you, how about die by the sword,
Yeah.
or insert your head into the guillotine?
And like, remember, children, remember, children. This is Max's. Uh, I was going to say like this is my children's show program, but I think I would genuinely call my children's program Max's Anathema anyway. Do you know what an anathema actually is?
I think did you explain what it is before, or have I
Oh
got
yeah.
that wrong?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's basically a curse or like a fuck you to the
Oh yeah,
world. It's basically just like I place a curse on thee. You are hexed by
yeah,
me, and that's what. So I named it that because I thought it was funny.
yeah. This last one, and then we're gonna obviously watch um Bog in the Basement, Marilyn Monroe, and Potato Head on GB News to see what they have to say. But anyway, yeah. So
She
this,
like He does actually. She is actually in the competition though to be like uglier than Graham Linehan, isn't she? Like she,
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
forgotten how fuck ugly she actually is. Like, and
Oh
that's like
yeah.
Graham Linehan is ugly, but at least he doesn't dress like vomit.
Yeah. No, like no offense to blonde women, right? But I think she's using too much peroxide in her head or on her hair. Sorry,
Would it be
not
weird
head.
if you offended blonde women on this show? And
You know
I'm
what? I don't
literally a
really know.
blondie.
You know what? I don't give a
Do you
shit.
remember, by the way? Did I have white hair when we started doing this? Because for the longest time I
I
had like
think so.
bleached white hair.
Yeah, I think you did.
And I
Yeah.
think I'm thinking of going back to that because god damn it, that was hot.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, I mean, at this point, I really don't give a fuck. I just, I really don't. I really couldn't give two shits, to be honest. Uh,
two blondes walked
if you're
into a
gonna
bar.
be offended by what I say, because I mean, according,
Are you only listening to half of this podcast if you're getting
yeah,
offended by what Toriel
uh,
says?
because I'll probably end up getting a message from a woman saying, "Oh, you're showing your privilege." I already told you to fuck off. When I don't
Please
have
respond.
privilege. I don't have privilege
Please.
in the sense that you think.
No, that doesn't
Like,
really how privilege works either. Like, yeah, like it's not. Anyway, but
yeah,
please, if someone actually does like you're showing your privilege, please respond to them with like, no, but I do want to show you my privilege.
yeah,
Like, yeah, it would be like
yeah. Except,
possibly.
if I said that, if I said that to someone, it wouldn't be what they think it would be. Especially for me, it'll be a baseball bat. That would be
For
my
me, it would be my
privilege.
cock.
Well, yeah, yeah, for you, yeah. For me, it will be
My
a baseball
massive,
bat.
massive, massive fucking dick. My
Yeah,
absolute fucking hog. My giant, massive
yeah,
cock. You have no idea. It's like a third fucking leg, but it's the leg of an elephant.
yeah. Uh, yeah. I was gonna say something, but I don't want to because the guy who actually sung the song, he was actually done for pedophilia. So I
Oh,
don't
is it
want.
like Gary Glitter?
So no, this is It was a guy named I don't know if you know who he is. A guy called Rolf Harris. He's Australian.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that fucking piece
It
of
was a
shit.
song that he used to sing, but because he was a pedophile, a PDF.
Yeah, we're not going to be
I'm
singing
not
pedophile
gonna
anthems
say
here.
it, but I'll tell
Like, I'm not going to.
I'll let you know off, in a DM. Um,
Yeah, we're going to be saying instead we're going to be doing like I'm going to but now you want oh fuck no, that's a bad idea. I'm not going to do it. It's not a bit.
yeah,
I want to make the intro to Marcus Anathema now. Just like Jim will fix it. I won't. I won't. I'm not fucking insane. But like that was the first thing that. Anyway, please go on
yeah.
until I
Anyway, yeah.
just. I don't want to sit here and make jokes about pedophiles.
No, no.
I want to make death
Anyway,
threats to them.
the Football Association,
Yeah.
and this is pure panic because of the ruling.
Yeah.
Trans players have branded the Football Association's FA upcoming ban on their participation in women's football as ignorant. So, following
Okay.
last month's UK Supreme Court ruling, blah blah. Um,
Blah blah fucking blah.
Also, Barclays Bank is set to ban trans women, members of staff from toilets that align with their gender. But anyway, the
Go
FA
on.
has said it will implement on an outright ban on trans players from 1st of June, the first day of Pride Month. Oh, right.
Are you fucking joking? Oh
No,
shit. Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope. I wish I was.
That's nice.
The FA's
It's almost
move
funny in a way.
follows the Scottish Football Association's introduction of a similar ban.
Yeah.
Speaking to Pink News, trans Gold Diggers FC goalkeeper Paula Griffin described the FA's plan as a knee-jerk reaction. You can fucking say that again.
Yeah.
I'm still digesting what this means for me and a few other trans women who play football. But over
Yeah,
the
there are like
past,
not a lot of them, so
no, it's not. Few years, I found a community in this game, a community that has allowed me to grow as a person and a player. And do you know what? That community hasn't disappeared because of this ruling. It's shown itself to be stronger and more supportive than ever.
that's good.
Also,
I'm glad that's a thing.
I think it was either the same day or the day after in London, there was a
Yeah.
massive protest where I think on very short notice, 25,000 people turned up in protest
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
versus the five women or four women in Scotland standing outside the court drinking some champagne.
Yeah. Which is always like that makes you seem like the victim.
Yeah. But yeah.
Do you know what I do whenever I want to appear like a victim? I always like make sure to like have my cigar and my champagne glass out. Fucking cretins. No, I don't think that they should want to appear like victims because they aren't, but like they do want to appear like victims.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like that classic of blaming, someone who's been manipulated or abused, saying, "Oh, you're not being abused," like he loves you. That kind of abuse.
that's a
Like
classic
you
one.
know, Clara McKechnie, sorry, the Vice President of Gender Goals Scotland's first trans and non-binary football club, also condemned the decision by governing bodies both north and south of the border, claiming the move goes against the association's own ethos of fairness, justice, and respect.
Yeah,
So yeah, those are the
I'll be doing
three
this.
articles.
Yeah,
And now let's watch some uh fuckery.
Glinna. Yeah,
Yeah, right. So let
let's.
me do that. That.
I'm giving the fuck up. I'm sorry. Okay, fine. That's
Right. So
historically. Would you mind actually just, we've reached a bit of a crossroads here, I think, in this argument and fight for women's rights, but I just want to go back a little bit to how you first got involved, like what your first memories are. I saw a clip of you and a bunch of other women, it might even be like 10 years old or something, at an event, and it felt like you were being like chased upstairs and through alleys or something.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Is that how you got involved, or were you involved before that?
No, I got involved before that. So 2015, the Conservatives were voted in. I didn't know that was going to actually happen. I was very comfortable on the left. Joined an online group of women objecting to it, and then it was populated by men. I mean, I say men, I mean truckers. I mean men with wigs who called themselves women. And And then I realized you couldn't talk about it. And the women were very cross if you talked about it.
Mm.
So then that's all I wanted to talk about.
So it was women who were very cross
I
initially.
mean, he was also cross when I said, "Are you sure?" He was like a Bernard Manning. That was his voice. That was what I could hear. Is
It
a
was
Bernard
populated
Manning
by
sort of
men, and
thing.
when you
And
say it
I
was
just
he,
said one day, "You sure
there was
you
one man.
Yeah. Also, you
You said
know,
like
I
it
hate
became
to put,
populated with men. One man.
yeah, yeah, but they always take, but you see, they always take that one, and then they extrapolate it to make it
And like, not that
sound,
I think that that was a man
massive.
either, because that was clearly like a trans woman
Yeah,
anyway. But like,
no,
but like even going by her depictions, you can only mention one.
exactly. Yeah, and also, you know, also, you know, there's more to being a woman than wearing red lipstick. Like,
Yeah, I wear pink lipstick right now.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
it's like,
no, yeah, definitely. And like, it's, and also like, I heard a voice, blah 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 blah. Yeah, you
yeah,
know, who gives a
it's
fuck?
like, you know,
That's why I will never do my like, because I've started to get kind of good at the girl voice now. I will
yeah,
never use it on this fucking podcast.
no,
Maybe sometimes, like maybe sometime in the future for like future reference of how I actually sound like. Like I do speak mostly like this. I've started doing tarot. Not that I believe in it, but I want to like prove a way to do it that is more correct than the way that people do, because I believe that since everyone is mistaking, like everyone has wrong readings, and also like it's good for
yeah,
psychology.
oh yeah,
But
definitely,
that's it's like if you thing I will say about tarot, and then I'll get back to like
yeah,
jumping on board the wagon of hate that she deserves.
yeah, yeah,
But before that, I will say this about tarot: like if you get a reading and you have like an instinctual reaction where you know exactly what is being talked about, then that's probably something that you need to like address in your life. Because whatever that is, that's you reading into it, but you reading stuff into it doesn't make it wrong. It just means
oh,
that no, it's not guided by some celestial fucking force. Of course it's not, because like magic doesn't fucking exist, you muppets. But like that doesn't mean that like what our minds make true is true. So like if you have a feeling when you read it, like I need to uh let go of the person I need to let go of the person I've been obsessing about, or I need to change my attitudes regarding this, then that's probably something that your brain knows that you need to like address anyway. So it's like in that case, the tarot can very much help you come to certain realizations.
oh, absolutely, yeah, definitely,
So like it's not useless to do readings, but like you're not telling your future, you're telling yourself what you actually think about things. And I have this like really cool deck that is like it's Del Toro. It's Tarot Del Toro. So it's like everything is done in the imagery of Del Toro movies, which is great.
awesome,
Anyway, now you can
yeah,
now you can go on. I just wanted to like that's what I'm sitting here like playing around with because I like to do that.
I may as well have said, "Shall we just kill your family?" Yeah, it was a huge response.
So it's the silencing or the response to you speaking what you considered to be true and actually turned out
Yes.
to be true legally
Yes.
that meant that you
That's a political thing. That's a like legality isn't the justice system isn't a fucking dictionary, and it's not biology either. It's laws. Like legal legal proceedings does not mean correct.
yeah. People, you know, and when I say people, I namely mean TERFs, gender critical, anyone who has any transphobic beliefs. You know, they seem to be very confused and misinterpret what is actually being said. You know, this
Yeah, but
was
also
this
like they seem
this
to misinterpret what a legal system actually
yeah,
is.
this ruling wasn't a law legal case. It was a civil case. A civil case is a type of law. This wasn't a law case. This was over definition of male and female. You know, by law, trans people are still
Yeah.
protected.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think it was
Yeah.
India Willoughby who contacted the police, right? Because she wanted to find out if there was a law that prevents trans women, trans people from accessing spaces. And currently, there is no law that outright bans trans people from accessing the spaces that they need.
Yeah, of course there is.
None. You know, so, you know, the ruling was over definition, which is a civil,
Yeah.
which was a civil case, not law. So, you know, I'm sure
Yeah, and
some
also like even if it was made law, that wouldn't mean it's correct. Like there are immoral
exactly.
laws, there are unjust laws all the fucking time. Like
Either
it's not
way,
correct, it's not
yeah,
right.
either way, this was one-sided anyway, because you know they didn't let any trans people or any trans organization in, you know, because they didn't want to, you know. But yeah,
No, no, exactly. Uh,
But like, if I'm going to get pushed back, then
Mm.
I'm going to push back from that point.
Yeah.
So you weren't any kind of activist before this, right?
No, I was a very happy stay-at-home mother. That's my day job. That was what I was doing. And then I just got repeatedly cancelled, often by women. I was asking a question, does my 11-year-old daughter have the right to use a female-only space and not see an adult penis? And you'd think,
right. I was a very happy mother. Right. Really, were you like, come on, Kelly? You can't be that happy if you are fantasizing about other men's penises who have zero interest in your child. Unless you secretly think that all men are pedophiles and predators, which again isn't the case and is not statistically correct. So, no, if you think every man obsesses over children, then you are clearly more unhinged than you realize.
yeah, but she is. And also she's like very like because she's not a do you know one thing that I will say for Kanti and Kant, she does not claim to be a feminist.
No.
Actively not, and like will absolutely go to like, no, I'm not a feminist, I'm a women's rights advocate. And I kind of respect that about her. Like she is right wing, she knows she's right wing, she's not pretending to not be fucking right wing, like the other folks. Like so yeah, I have some weird begrudging respect for her about that. Then she's like also a fucking loony, and she's ugly as shit and has the stylings of a fucking train wreck. Like she has
Yeah.
all the, and like she has all the charisma of like a stillbirth, and she has the aesthetic sense of a like art student's hangover vomit the day after. Like, but yeah, no, at least she's not a fucking coward.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, there is a video, or shall I say, a live stream where she literally said that she would destroy any woman who got in her way.
yeah, I know.
Well done, Kenny.
Which is like,
Way to go. You know,
I mean, that's
say you're a feminist, but
Personally,
you're not a feminist, but you will destroy any woman who gets in your way. That yeah, well done.
yeah, I do kind of recommend that she would do what I do, and just like only do those weird outbursts when you're not being recorded, like because
Oh, yeah.
sure I can say that every now and then. I will ruin every woman who comes my way, because I will definitely will. That's why I
Yeah.
became a woman, just to show I'm better than you. But like.
Yeah. I mean, the thing
I
is,
hate women so much that I became
yeah,
one just to prove how to be a woman for real, how to be a better version of them.
but it clearly,
There's some
clearly
cunt out there who
shows
believes
that,
that.
yeah, but it clearly shows that she lacks any self, she lacks any common sense
Empathy.
because
Yeah.
empathy, because she records herself. So when she does those lives on her
Yeah.
YouTube channel, she records them herself. So when she says
Oh yeah.
something,
Her sense of optics is the only one
yeah,
in the world that might be worse than mine.
yeah, she has zero self-awareness to the point of
Yeah.
the, not that I watch her
Like,
stuff,
when
but
I
I'd
say
rather,
horrible shit, at least I know it's horrible shit.
yeah,
Like,
I don't watch her shit because I'd rather stick a fork in my eye, you know.
you have the bloom
Um,
filter turned up to like a
like,
maximum so that it looks
yeah,
like I'm having a fucking migraine.
yeah,
Like
um,
migraines when you get the aura parts as well. Like
oh
that's
yeah,
what it
yeah,
feels like to watch those
yeah,
fucking videos.
exactly.
So yeah, I'd rather gouge my fucking eyes out with an ice cream scoop that has just been in the fucking fridge than like
Um,
watch one of her videos. It would be more pleasurable.
oh yeah,
I'm gonna carve her
yeah.
heart out with a spoon. Why a spoon? Why not a knife or an axe? It's dull, you twit. It'll hurt more. I'm sorry. Anytime I get to anytime I get to any chance I get to quote Robin Hood and the Prince, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, I will.
Yeah,
Have you seen that one? Kevin Costner as Robin Hood, like the most
yeah,
American Robin
yeah,
Hood of all time. I love that. I love that everyone else is trying at least to do an accent, and
Yeah.
he's
yeah,
just fuck
Why
you.
was I raising such a pervert, transphobic, yada yada? It was all pretty shocking stuff. And then I just had to find ways of speaking about it. I ended up in a little secret group
What's it?
where actually most of the women that you will have heard of in this fight were in that secret group. And then we all, well, it probably fell out. I don't know. I can't remember. But we all ended up doing slightly different things to bring us to this point.
Well, I would say that for me, I mean, you're certainly one of the most pivotal people in terms of seeing some of your videos, seeing your talks.
Oh, and by the way, for those of you listening, watching this,
He's
GB
fucking
News,
sucking her off, isn't he?
yeah, GB News is the equivalent of Fox in America. This is an entertainment show, not a real news show. So just bear that in mind.
Then why isn't it entertaining?
GB News is the British equivalent of Fox News,
Yeah, yeah.
an
Someone should fucking
entertainment
end
show.
it.
So
Yeah,
just bear that in
I get
mind.
it. Oh well.
To clarify the issues at stake, I guess. Also, you've been on various podcasts. What is the response that you've had from people in the street? Or do you think that has changed? Do you think initially no one was really
Violent outbursts of anger, I would think.
Say that again?
Yelling, random outbursts of anger targeted at her, yelling at her, like, I don't know, something she deserved, at least, I hope. Knife attacks.
Yeah.
Am I saying that I want Kellie-Jay to be knifed in the streets? Yes,
Yeah.
I am. That's the official stand of Trans in the Mouth. I'm sorry, it's not. It's the unofficial stand.
Yeah.
Exponential growth.
Well, I think my place in this whole thing was to tell people that it was happening. I sort of felt like I'm the person who raises the alarm. So initially, I think people thought it was a bit of a radical feminist versus poor men in dresses. I think that was it. It was sort of seeing two little fringe elements of society. And I don't think people understood that what it meant is just anybody calling themselves a woman could end up in a woman-only space. And I don't think I thought that in the beginning. I had no idea. So 2016 was really sort of my rapid journey into super peaking, where you realise that they're doing it to children, that actually these men, I mean, back in 2016, these men would call themselves trans.
I hate that they call it peaking because that's like a term for LSD. Like when you peak, you're on the top
Yeah.
of the trip. And like want to know something funny? When I realized that I was going to have to like because I've said before that I realized that I would come at max when I had my stroke, but it was actually a bit earlier, and then it's just that the stroke kind of made it go quicker. But once upon a time, I was standing in front of the mirror and I was masturbating to my own reflection while I was tripping fucking balls on LSD. Like that was because like no, I was peaking, and the moment that the trip very much peaked was when I came, and for a brief moment, I caught a glimpse of Max in the mirror, and after that, I just like realized that I would have to like do something about this because it was the first time I'd actually seen her. Like I caught a glimpse of what was in there, like who I should have been. And I had always known, but it was like I'd known, and then I had like repressed that knowledge because I couldn't face it. Just like letting that's some nice little Max trivia. But like so them talking about this as if that's peaking. No, peaking is when you realize that you're trans while you're masturbating to your own reflection while tripping balls on fucking out.
Yeah.
On fucking
Also,
acid.
Kelly.
By the way, that's a true fact about my life. I love the fact that my life is so fucking bizarre that I can say those shit.
Yeah. Kellie-Jay Keen, aka Posey Parker, says that,
I like Pocket Posey, so I don't like that she has that like username.
yeah, she said that, she became entrenched in this war on women's rights,
Yeah.
within a period of 5 years. And before that, she said she was a very happy, mom, right? Now,
Yeah.
I'm sure she's a wonderful mom. I'm not going to say anything about that. Right? I'm sure she's a wonderful mom.
Nice.
I'm sure her
Like as long as there's cis.
are very happy, right? But to say that I'm a very happy person, no, you're not. If you are happy, right, you wouldn't be destroying the lives of trans people, taking away their rights, or because you think that they're the ones doing harm to women and children, when in fact, if you were as peaked as you say you are, you would realize that in actual fact, you're doing the opposite. And you have now, because of this ruling, you have now made it even easier for cis men, again, not all men, for cis men who are predatory to enter these spaces.
Yep.
All because you want trans women to enter the men's bathroom and you want trans men to enter the women, which is more dangerous. You haven't protected women because cis women have already been dealing with. You've just heard me talk about one woman who's been kicked out because a security guard thought she was a man. Stuff like this is already happening to cis women.
That is definitely going to keep happening.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they've just made it, easier for predatory men, cis men, to enter those spaces. And for what? Because I tell you now, trans people aren't doing it. And yeah, okay, so yeah, a trans person commits an offence. Right, okay, then they are a disgusting, but
Yeah.
they are a vile piece of shit, right?
Right.
Who deserve to be put in prison. It's not because they're trans, right? Their trans is secondary, right?
Yeah.
So
It very much is.
again, this is just a moral panic that has been created, and now all hell is going to break loose because oh no,
Because you're the fucking worst.
we need to save the children. Well, first of
Yeah,
all,
because
they
people
never
needed
back
to
the children in the first
lie.
place. But yeah, I'll get off my soapbox a minute, and that's we'll
I
move.
like it when you get on your soapbox because like
Yeah,
that
we'll
means
move
that I'm
to
not
potato
the
head.
only one that cuts people off and like just
Yeah, we'll
goes on
listen
rants. It feels like I have this fucking show. It's just me like up ranting.
yeah. We'll give another couple of minutes to Posey Parker, and then we'll move to, and then we'll end with Mr. Potato Head. See what he's got to say.
And we will end
Yeah,
Graham like that.
absolutely. Yeah.
The idea of them calling themselves female
That's a-
or just women was preposterous. I mean, it is. It is preposterous. The whole thing is nuts. And the fact that anybody takes it seriously it really says something quite terrible about our society.
Well, this is it. It's not that anybody took it seriously, it's that everybody took it seriously in our institutions, politicians, the media. And last week, Supreme Court ruling, of course, do you think that's brought an end to that? Because I naively, I guess, thought, okay, well, that's settled now. But it seems to have created an even larger reaction.
Well, I think the danger when you have a near win, which I think this is like people might feel like it's finished, but it's not. But I think there's a danger now that there will be compromises. That's what really concerns me, because when you know that there's a big fight, then you can fight. But if it's a bit of a
Four women in Scotland raised £230,000. 1/4 of that, J.K. Rowling donated. She donated £70,000 towards that to bring it to 230,000. The Good Law Project I haven't checked. I've seen this on Twitter. They have raised at the time over 300,000 in a space of in less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
And they are gonna put forward basically a case to get them to obviously reinstate, so again at the end of the day, for women in Scotland, sex matters. They are all funded by Voldemort herself, because she's got nothing better to do. That's why they raised.
No, she really doesn't.
But yeah.
Yeah.
we sort of won. It becomes more difficult, I think, to get people to fight it. Keir Starmer, I think he'll just put it to the side. There's been clarity. Did you know there's been clarity? So he'll be talking about that. They'll push it over to the EHRC. I think the EHRC has been dreadful. I think it's been dreadful since the Equality Act, since 2010. We shouldn't have needed a clarification. It shouldn't have taken 3 brave women from Scotland to actually get it to the Supreme Court. So there'll be a lot of people who now are like, oh my goodness, thank goodness there is clarity. We can just pretend these were our policies all along and we couldn't really help it. So there will be those. But then there'll be activists, there'll be people that are unionised. So anybody remotely connected to any of the
Yeah, well, that's enough of Kellie-Jay Keen. Now let's listen to Mr.
Yeah.
Potato Head.
Graham Linehan. He spoke up early as well. He's here to talk about his experiences. You don't want to miss it. Thank you very much, Ken.
Oh, I do.
Oh, we do want to miss
Speech
it, but
leader of the last
unfortunately,
week's Supreme Court
we
ruling was a
can't.
defining moment in the fight for women's rights.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming and a difficult journey for many people. One of the first to pop their heads above the parapet was university loved comedy writer Graham Linehan. But he found out that telling the truth, unfortunately, comes with a price. Well, I am honoured to be joined now by comedian and writer, creator of Father Ted and Black Books, and also my board game buddy, Graham Linehan. Here he is. Is it over?
You wouldn't think so from all the commentators who seem to think that saying that a woman has a foo-foo and a man has a willy is the most confusing judgment, and it's kind of knocked them all for.
Referring to a vagina as a foo-foo, like for fuck's sake, how old are you, Graham? Like for fuck's sake, really?
It's infantilizing, and he's very good at that. Like that's his favorite thing to do.
I would
Infantilize
expect.
people.
I
Because
would
he's a
expect.
fucking nonce.
I would expect a 2-year-old maybe to say something like a foo-foo because they can't because obviously they can't quite grasp the language, obviously, because they're a fucking 2-year-old. But for a 50-plus-year-old man to say a foo-foo, like, come on. No wonder your kids, no wonder your wife, your ex-wife took your kids away from you. Like, for fuck's sake.
Six, what does this mean?
What is biology?
Yeah, exactly. Well, it just means that you go back to what we've had for 100 years until the Tumblr people came along and persuaded everybody that some lesbians have a penis, and
What's your problem with people on Tumblr? Now, what the fuck?
I do have some problems with people on Tumblr,
yeah.
but that kind of tends to be like super holo. Like that's my problem with people on Tumblr.
Oh, right. So, again, you can't quite grasp that, some trans women have a penis, some have a vagina. Some trans men have a penis, some trans men have a vagina. It's not that fucking hard.
Some trans people have a secret third thing.
Yeah. Also, trans people, they don't get to choose what they're born with.
No.
It's not like, again, I've used this analogy before. It's not like The Sims where you can create what you want on your body. It's not a pick and mix. It's not, oh, I'll have that one, I'll have this. Oh, fine. No. Like, what a fucking numpty.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And unfortunately, you got people like Rory Stewart and Alistair Campbell who've been,
Our next guest is Rory Stewart.
You get that, who I think are emblematic of a lot of people in this fight, in that they've basically been hoodwinked by their idiotic kids, and they're very comfortable wives.
Who just thought, Graham Linehan calling someone else's kids idiotic? My. How the mighty have fallen.
I don't know. Was he ever mighty, and has he actually fallen?
Well, yeah. Just.
I met one person. Actually, it was Jimmy Mulville of Hat-Trick Productions who was responsible for banning the Father Ted musical.
There was a Father Ted musical?
Yeah, there was. That
was a joke. I follow Graham on Twitter, so.
Of course you do.
Yeah, I sometimes mention it. But
why? Even if you agree with him, he's fucking vile cunt.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. My Father Ted musical is cancelled. Oh no. they're coming to get me.
Yeah, cry about it, you fuckface.
That's all he does online. You know, he
Yeah,
moans
yeah.
about being
Fucking worthless.
being sued, because
Yeah.
right, and then he'll throw up a crowdfunder to raise money, like as if we were stupid. Because again, J.K. Rowling is a billionaire. What else is she doing? I know that she's got an HBO TV series coming out
Yeah.
called Harry Potter, but apart from that, she doesn't do anything else.
No, because she doesn't have anything else. Like Harry
Exactly.
Potter is the
So
one thing she has. I mean,
because
I guess she also has the casual vacancy, but who the fuck read that?
exactly no one.
I
So
actually did. It was absolute shit.
yeah,
It was like dog
so
shit.
she funds Forum in Scotland. Sex matters. She probably donated. She probably helped Graham Linehan, or I'm assuming. Even though
No, but
he's
hasn't she
not.
like ignored the fuck out of him?
I don't know.
I think it's
I have
like
no
been
idea.
trying to get her attention for like years, but she never fucking like notice me, senpai, notice me.
Yeah.
He's a sad, sad ogre man.
Oh yeah, he really is. You know.
Says it's not a problem.
Family
You
man
know,
is just like,
these are
please
very,
notice me, senpai.
very privileged wives of very privileged people. All of them are Cambridge, Oxford types, and I realized, sometime into this fight that I was being kind of spat out.
It's funny that someone like Graham, right, will say that these are very privileged people. What are you
Yeah,
then? Because according to obviously your background and you know the success that you used to have, you were very privileged, and you
yeah, you
threw that
threw it all
away.
away, you fucking cunt.
Yep.
And
So
like,
it's funny how you
Graham,
turn out, you know.
Graham, you went on Mumsnet and started sending like pics of your cock to like the people there. Like you're not. What the fuck? What the fuck? Who are you to talk about anything of this? Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
You're actually a fucking sex pest, Graham.
Oh yeah, he
No,
actually is, and that is a fact. We're not just
yeah.
saying that because we hate him. We have
No, I don't
because
call
it's a
people
fact.
sex pests unless it's like they are.
Exactly. Like we don't just like we don't bandy around the PDF file. Because we're not stupid to
No.
falsely accuse someone of being something they're not. And yes,
Yeah.
I do, and yes, that is and I have been a victim of that numerous times, alongside
Yeah.
misgendered as a trans woman numerous times. So yes,
Yeah. Yeah. That's at least funny. Like the other shit isn't fun. Like,
yeah. Let me go forward a bit.
but it's very fucking funny
And
that you
then
get
and then
like
we will,
misgendered.
yeah, and then we will wrap it up.
Seen it.
Yeah.
And now what's great about these protests is that they're coming out and they've been kind of steeped in a kind of sea of thinking this is normal. But as soon as ordinary people see what's actually happening, see what these people actually believe, they reject it,
Yeah.
because it's mad.
Well, I would argue with this talk of toilets, what's happened this week is that the general public are seeing for the first time what is meant by trans women.
Yeah.
Some trans women, because I think a lot of people, everybody wants to be a good person. We all want people to feel safe and right. Everybody.
I don't.
Have that. And I think when a lot of people who aren't initiated into this, who haven't seen some of the things that we might have seen, would think of a trans woman as someone who's presenting, who passes, as the parlance goes. But what we've seen out on some of these protests and people being interviewed is, frankly, sexualized men.
Yeah, I mean,
there was a thing today talking about how 99% of rapists are men.
Yeah.
That's true. It's 100% technically, legally. But what's not talked about is, as heterosexual men, and what's not talked about is what percentage of what we understand in our society to be
Yeah, but that's 100% because your laws like regarding
Yeah.
rape is fucked up.
You know, yes, obviously, you know, the sole focus,
Because it requires a
has-
penis
yeah,
in Great Britain.
yeah, the sole focus has always been on cis men. You know, again, not all cis men. Right, it's very important that if you are having discussions with people who have transphobic beliefs, it's always important for you to asterisk not all men, because that is a common sense thing to do. You know, not all men, cis men, commit sexual offences. Not all men, cis men, abuse children. So it's very important that you asterisk not all men, because, you know, again, it's common sense. What also isn't talked about, and again, yes, I understand that women don't commit the same amount of sexual offences per year than cis men.
No.
I totally understand that. But you cannot deny that 700,000 plus women a year commit crimes consisting of sexual offences, right? That which include rape, etc. Right? So
Yeah, but in Great Britain, like rape, like one of the qualifications for that is that it's done with a penis that
yeah,
penetrates, and that's like legally speaking, that's fucked.
yeah,
Because it excludes like cis women from being able to rape.
yeah. Although it does happen by women, but obviously,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't really care to go into details, but yes, rape typically,
No, but yeah,
yeah,
no, but like
yeah,
legally speaking, it does require. Legally speaking, in Great Britain, it does require a penis. Like that is in the law, and that
yeah,
needs to be changed. That needs to be
yeah,
like
it does,
rectified.
yeah, but yeah,
Because that's fucked. Like I'm not saying that it should be like that. It shouldn't.
yeah. So this gentleman here says that 99.99% of men commit, like, if
No,
I was
sexual
being,
offenses was committed by men.
yeah, if I was being, shall we say, charitable, I would like be like, okay, 99.99% of cis men commit sexual offences. Okay,
No, it's the other way around. 99.9% of sexual assaults are committed by men.
or that. Okay,
Yeah.
so show me the evidence. Show me the statistics. But you,
Yeah.
but what you've also done is you've lumped in trans women who are women, not men. So what you've essentially
Yeah.
done, because you're not a very serious person. You're not a very serious journalist, right?
No,
You're
definitely
not
not.
asking Linehan serious questions because you'd rather be pally with him.
Yeah. Which
You're
is
like,
fucking coward.
oh
What a fucking coward you are.
yeah. So, oh, I see. So you're gonna be transphobic as well? No. Again, there is no actual database where you can, of statistics, that is solely focused on trans criminals. There is none. All you have
No.
are statistics that are dedicated towards men who you have lumped in trans women into, or because you want to be transphobic. And that doesn't make sense. But we all know why.
No.
So we don't have to keep harping on, you know. But yeah, we're gonna like another couple of minutes, and then we're gonna call it quits.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's a there's a kind of a battle within the gender critical movement over the phrase. I think the phrase is true trans. You know, and I get into trouble for supporting, you know, certain trans-identified men in this fight. But all the men I support, they admit they're men. You know, they don't believe that they've changed sex. They just say, well, I just feel comfortable in these clothes, and that's it. And most of them don't. In fact, I think all of them that I support don't use women's spaces.
Well, their rights don't conflict then.
Yes,
And
exactly.
of course, everybody, of course, deserves safety. And as was pointed out by the Supreme Court, this doesn't affect trans rights. I know they're saying it does, but it doesn't.
Well, look at what happens when you suggest third spaces. They go nuts, because the truth is that, like they say this every time I share, I have this list of 227 men who have been convicted of sexual offences, paedophilia, and other crimes against women. And all
That's a
of it, that's
weird list to have.
men, but their victims must be multiplied. You know what I mean?
So you have a list of 227 men, presumably on your phone, which is where
Are you on that list? Are you on that list, Graham?
it should be. So you have a list on your phone. Did you casually leave on your phone? Right? You know, oh yeah, oh no, I just, you know, have 227 men who have committed, you know, disgusting acts, right?
Mm.
And you're gonna say, oh, those men are trans. No, I'm sorry, but no normal person, and Graham Linehan is not normal, right?
No, it's very
Never have
disturbed.
a list of 227 men on their phone. I'm sorry, but I don't. But my phone book isn't that long. I don't even have 227
Yeah.
people in my contacts.
I definitely do, but like not
I would
towards
definitely
regular.
wouldn't have a list on my phone. Oh yeah, you know, no, don't get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So we're not talking
Those
227
sounds.
and it's people always say, well, why don't you list cis men? Why don't you talk about the cis men who do it? They are cis men. They're
No, it's not. Trans people aren't trans
He's
women.
talking about people on his list, I think.
Yeah, he is. But it's like trans people, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm sure, and Max can correct me if I'm wrong.
Mhm.
Trans women, sorry, trans men aren't cis, right?
Nope.
They're not cis men.
No.
Because in order for them to be cis
Not that
men,
I know of.
because unfortunately, you know, you talk a lot about biology, but you know fuck all. Right, so let me break it. Not that he will watch this because you know, he's got better things to do than trying to stay out of prison. You know, I'll use this example, and it's very simple. You know, even a 3-year-old can follow this. A baby boy, for example, a baby boy's gender, let's say, is like M. So let's say their gender. If their gender matches their assigned sex at birth, then they are that gender because it's a match.
Yeah.
Right? However, if there is a mismatch, meaning their gender does not match their assigned gender at birth, then that is called a mismatch, called gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria is a medical condition. Now, not all trans people, not all people not all people who don't have gender dysphoria are trans, right?
No.
trans people who have gender dysphoria because of a mismatch between their gender and their sex. So in actual fact, Graham, you stupid fucking ogre, trans people are trans women are literally women because they are because they identify as the opposite gender to which they were born as.
Yeah.
It's not that fucking hard to understand. If you explain this to a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old in a succinct and easily understandable way, they'll get it. Yeah,
Yeah, my boyfriend's kid is 10 years old, and she
yeah.
like she knows perfectly well how like that I am trans, and then I like she gets it.
But oh no,
She doesn't
meanwhile,
even have any questions about it.
no. But meanwhile, oh no, meanwhile, I explained that to some arsehole online, and they're like, oh, and they're like typical turfs. But it's like, come on, Graham, you're fighting like you've already lost your family. Your kids probably don't want anything to do with you. You've ruined every business contact you've ever had. No one wants to work with you. You've moved to America, because you wanted to carry, according to you, and because
One sensible thing
you're
I've heard him
you're
say
not
in this entire
yeah,
fucking life.
and because you're not apparently, according to you, you're not allowed to say what you want. Because apparently free speech is being taken away from you. No, Graham, it's called consequences. If you haven't learned in your 50 plus years that just because you can't, that there are consequences to what you say, then you're not as clever as you think.
Well, he's not as clever as you think, is he?
No.
This man dressed as women. It's that simple. And for some reason, all these idiots like Rory Stewart and all these people, they've convinced themselves that if you put on a dress, it's like you turn into Mr. Ben. It's like a magical kind of door into a different world.
I mean, these are some people, and then of course, trans people believing that they are the opposite sex is a real condition. And
No. They don't believe. They are. Babies are, but babies are born gay. They don't believe they are gay. They know they're gay.
That's gonna be the title of my debut album. Babies are born gay.
No, they don't believe.
No, fuck that.
Like, fucking hell.
and
My headphones are starting to
well,
get
so-
low
I
on
mean-
battery. I'm starting to hear like
well,
I'm going to have to
no,
pop off
sure. I'm not
soon.
saying it's, but there are people who do genuinely believe that they are the opposite sex.
What did they do?
Again, trans people are women.
Yeah.
They are men. So, personally, again, I've said this before. You can believe what you want. You can have your beliefs, right? But when your beliefs literally go against reality, because trans people understand biology. They understand biological sex. They understand. Right? But and they also
Yeah.
and they know that they are trans. So trans people
Yeah.
are stupid. They are very
I'm
aware.
known trans since I was 3.
Exactly. Yeah. So this notion that they believe. It's like, yeah, of course, obviously. Obviously kids believe,
Yeah.
because kids, they play make believe. You know, oh, I'm gonna be a cowboy and Indian. It's like, yeah, right, but no,
Yeah.
kids are born trans, right? Kids are born cis, straight, right?
Yeah.
Sex is binary, never has been. Because again,
No.
if sex was strictly binary, again, common sense, trans people wouldn't exist.
Yeah. No.
There's a fucking clue in there. Trans people do exist, therefore sex is bimodal and mutable. I'm not even a teacher, right? Not that I would ever want to be anyway, right? But even I can explain this in an easy, understandable way. But this is where we've come to. You know, it's people like Linehan, Potato Head, who again has spent the last what 5, maybe close to 10 years indoctrinating himself into this bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, skip ahead.
Last few years have been really shocking to me. You know, I mean, I have to say, it's not just my colleagues in comedy, my Arthur Matthews, who was my greatest friend and completely betrayed me by trying to get my name taken off the TED musical. That really hits hard, you know. But also, I have to say, I've had a lot of trouble from my own side in this. I had this kind of rosy view that because I was fighting the good fight, I would find a lot of solidarity. But unfortunately, there's certain things that happen that are in some cases as bad as what was done to me on the other side. I went to visit Magdalene Burns when she was dying. She was the YouTuber who, just a wonderful woman, brilliant speaker, communicator on these issues. And, my own side just kind of managed to kicked up such a stink that I had to eventually ask the family to make a statement defending me. So it kind of confused me how much politics there are in this fight. And I still feel a little let down by it. And it's another reason why I want to get out of the UK. I mean, I'm being hounded by trans activists, still hounded by the police.
Oh, poor you. Give me a minute while I get my tissues and cry.
Hey, Graham.
Teary tears.
I don't give a fuck, Graham.
No.
You can jump off a train.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as you know, Josh, you're very obviously this affects you more than it does me, but I think the anti-Semitism in the UK has just gotten out of control. And I think it's the left, I think the left have just become the opposite of what they used to be. If we talk about, I remember someone was saying, I think it was the Battle of Cable Street, and we saw off the fascists. Well, now the same people would be giving them an escort. And I don't recognize the left. I don't
Graham, you fucking
recognize
cunt. The left has
anymore.
never been a fan of Israel.
I love how he sneaked in anti-Semitism in a conversation
Yeah,
about
because he
trans
considers
people.
criticism of atheism. He considers atheism. No, atheism. Sorry, he considers criticism of Israel to be anti-Semitism,
Yeah.
which is like weird because we've never the left has never been fans of Israel. You fucking idiot. Fucking look at Jeremy Corbyn. He got hanged for that. It's Labour.
Yeah.
Just because Labour has lost the fucking identity of the fucking left, it doesn't mean that you get to pretend like the Labour's used to be huge proponents of Israel. Fuck you, Graham. You fucking intellectually dishonest, politically unhinged fucking cunt. Wait, how am I better at British politics than you are, you fucking moron? You dumb bitch. You look like your parents would like you look like your father would introduce your mother by saying, "Here is my wife and my sister," and point to the same person.
Yeah, yeah.
You look like a fucking car crash, Graham. And you have the brain of a fucking coma victim. Go into the
Yeah.
fucking lines.
You know, when I got here, it
I'm
was
sorry, I don't know why
90s, it
that
was great
annoyed me so much.
pop. It was a really kind of creative, wonderful time. I think the arts are dead in the UK. When was the last time you saw great?
No, they're not dead. They're not dead, Graham. They're just tired of your bullshit, which is why you've left, or because you think people are stopping you from speaking. No, we're not stopping you from speaking. We just happen to tell you when you're
Yeah, you're
wrong.
speaking
You don't
right
like
now,
it.
Graham.
Yeah, exactly. But notice how
On British television.
yeah, but notice how again this is an entertainment show, not a real news show. But notice how he
Yeah.
doesn't have any real pushback because they don't care.
No, because it's a fluff piece. Like, do you know what a
Exactly.
fluffer in porn is?
Yeah,
Do you know what a fluffer is? Yeah, it's the person who sucks the cock to get them
yeah,
to keep them erect.
yeah,
Like that's basically all that interview is doing. It's just
yeah,
like just going gack 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 on that cock.
yeah. Not to mention
How far?
yeah, not to mention he's being paid as well. So
Yeah, of course, of course. That's the
but
rim job that goes with it.
yeah, yeah,
Great sitcom? You know, wasn't Smoggy Queens. You know, when was the last time you saw a band that kind of that made you want to get into a stadium with thousands of people and sing along? I feel like we've been running in place.
Boy George,
Boy George.
Boy
Did I
George.
miss something there? I know I've been playing guitar for a while now, but I turned off the sound. But like what? I didn't turn off the sound on that, but I didn't. What did you mean by Boy George?
Anymore. And when
All
I
of a
got
sudden, I
here,
just
it
hear
was
you go,
90s,
Boy George.
it was
Yeah,
a really kind of creative, wonderful time. I think the arts are dead in the UK. When was the last time you saw a great sitcom? You know, wasn't Smoggy Queens. You know, when was the last time you saw a band that kind of that made you want to get into a stadium with thousands of people and sing along? It
Peep Show ended a few years ago,
yeah,
and that
yeah.
was
But
one of the
only
funniest fucking sitcoms ever.
yeah, on the band. I never saw any bands live, but the one band that always got me dancing when I was a kid
Yeah,
was Boy George and
yeah, cool.
Come a Chameleon. So
Yeah,
that
which is a great fucking song.
yeah,
I'm a man on a mission. Fucking good
yeah,
song. Fucking unreal. Have you seen the music videos of that one?
I think so. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
because otherwise I'm going to give you homework from this episode to go see that, and we'll fucking analyze the next one because that's a nonsense. That's a nonsense music video. For some reason, everyone's dressed Victorianly, like Victorian fucking uh, rich people, and then all of a sudden, there's just Boy George is running around in his fucking get up, like dressed like a fucking peacock. It's absolutely bizarre. Do you know what my favorite band is, which is also, by the way, British?
Motley Crue.
I'd rather die than listen to them. Also, I'm just going to say this: Motley Crue, because I'm Swedish, but also in my last name there's a German like letter, and it's the U with the like two dots over, which is pronounced like E. Y. It's pronounced like Y. I don't know why I said it like in Swedish. I'm a fucking moron. But it's pronounced like Y. And in that those two dots over the O means that it's pronounced
Yeah,
So
it's
all I
umlaut.
can hear, yeah, exactly. And all I can hear in my head whenever I see Motley Crue's name is Mötley Crüe. That's how it's pronounced to me. Because like I have a German heritage at some point, and I have a German last name, and I also have, now I've given that off about myself. Fuck. But also I also have like I'm also Swedish, and like the one time I've ever seen the umlaut done right is in Penelope Scott's song Rap, because she spells it R A with an umlaut T, and A with an umlaut like A is pronounced A, so it would be rap. Or rather, if you are going to pronounce the entire word Swedish, it's going to be rat, because like we don't have your R's, we have rolling R's in that sense. But like other than that, it's like the first time I've seen someone do a fucking umlaut correctly, and I was so happy that it's a great fucking song as well. It's about Elon Musk, and the first name it was elongated muskrat. It was his first title, and then it got shortened to Rats. And it's like just like it has the line "fuck your tunnels, fuck your cars, fuck your rockets, fuck your cars" again, which is like amazing. Followed by "you promised you'd be Tesla, but you're just another Edison," and that's one of the cruelest fucking harsh cut criticism I've ever had. Now we can go on with "fuck Muppet McGee" here. He looks like a fucking Fraggle, by the way.
We've been
Like he looks like something Jim Henson would do.
idiotic movements.
Five has reformed.
Huh?
Five has reformed.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's different. I'm staying.
But you know, with all of that though, what has happened is speaking up for truth. And I'm just trying to put an optimistic spin on these things, because I think that many more people, even just people here this evening who've come out, people like yourself, standing up for truth is something that just didn't seem to happen in the 90s, or maybe we just trusted or whatever it is. But now there's a cynicism there, but there's also there's activism, and I see that as a good thing. And I wonder if 20 years from now you look back and we're talking about you, and you look back at your career, and it's creator of Father Ted and creator of other sitcoms that you're going to come over that will make it sounds like maybe some horror films.
Yeah.
But also someone who stood not just for women's rights, but stood for truth. And I think that's a journey that a lot of us are on now because of this one topic has led us.
His wife would say something, would say something completely different. But anyway,
to speak up.
Oh yeah, and I think the great thing about it is that we'll never take our rights for granted again. I think every woman who's here knows that now you have to man the barricades, you know, because a lot of men just despise women, and this has been, I think, the trans movement to a large degree was a trolling exercise. I think there were a lot of men who just saw it as a chance to get back at the women who rejected them, the women who, you know, they hate, and I feel glad that, you know, it's kind of energized the feminist movement here. Tariff Island has been a beacon for the rest of the world. And I know that's having an effect in America and elsewhere. You know, it's all crumbling now.
Well, you're a massive part of that, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, well, that's enough of the fucking Bowfest.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, I got bored
Yeah,
by listening to
okay.
him. I started just like I've been going through, like, I've learned a new song. No, oh, fuck. I've learned a new song, made an error in the first fucking line.
yeah. Yeah. So that was, you know, Miss
Sorry.
Miss Bargain Basement Kellie-Jay Keane and Mr. Porky Pig or Potato Head Graham Linehan. You know, thinking of himself.
Oh
as
God,
the-
God, I want to edit now. Edit over like it's in like that's all, folks.
Yeah,
Just have
that was
Graham
Graham.
turn up there like a fucking
Yeah.
jump scare.
Graham Linehan, thinking he is the last bastion, the last defender of women's rights. There for you in all his, I was about to say glory, but
He's a
fuckery
true
is
Joan of
the
Arc.
right
isn't he?
word. Yeah,
Joan of Arc fought for Christianity. I know, don't like the error was part of it. By the way, I've
Yeah.
redone my tattoo.
Oh, awesome.
So I've been refilling my tattoo. It's like and I've done it myself. I'm very happy with it. But now I'm frozen for some reason. I think my internet connection is fucking shit right. No, it's not. Like you can see see it here.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Yeah, yeah. It says I love myself in Swedish. Jag älskar mig. I did it when I was 18. It's the only tattoo I have.
Yeah,
You have a few more.
I have above. I have 20 plus tattoos.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah. So so for those watching or listening on audio, although this goes up in video form both on Spotify and on YouTube, you got to hear me for after quite a while um going off, which hasn't happened for quite some time. So
And you got to hear me get bored by Graham Linehan.
yeah,
It's like Linehan.
uh,
Graham Linefucker. And you had to listen to me start playing guitar instead, which was
yeah,
weird for me. Like, this is a podcast. It's weird. I know that, like, my sound is being recorded.
yeah. So yeah, I'm sure that I will more than likely go off again at some point. Um,
Yeah.
Next week we will be we will either get to the oh, what's it called?
And I pronounce which part too?
Yeah, we'll get to that next week.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I did my review. So we'll get to that next
Yeah.
week.
Isn't it like the most strangely and oddly homosexual fucking film ever?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Like, in a very
yeah,
weird way. That is my favorite of the, like, I'm good. Spoiler for what my opinions of it is. It's my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I
yeah.
fucking love that film.
I might actually rewatch it over the weekend. But yeah, so you got that to come next week. Also, next week I will be interviewing Helen Rebelly as it's been rescheduled. I've got to send her the link tomorrow.
And it's in the morning, right?
Yeah, 11 a.m. my time. So 12 p.m. your time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I do still have work. Like, I am changing jobs, but like,
yeah.
I still have work, unfortunately.
That will go up. That will go up the following Monday because that will be our 70th episode. So our 69th episode will be the movie review.
I'm going to celebrate our 69th. I'm going. Oh fuck! I've been doing this joke for like far too many episodes. It's not even going to be fun. I'm going to be celebrating our 69th episode by performing a 69 on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just you wait. You have no idea what I have planned. Like, there is a slim chance I actually do it. Like, it would never go up on YouTube, but like that would be our debut on Pornhub.
Yeah. So yeah. Also, an announcement that in the future we don't know. This may come into effect in not next week. It may come into effect the week after next, or the following week.
Yeah,
Don't know.
the coming few weeks.
Yeah, but we will eventually be moving to either a Monday or a Tuesday for recording.
Yeah,
So
that's me doing that because like when we settled on Thursday, that was because that was the day that like I've always ended early on Thursdays, and like it was a day in the middle of the week where I did nothing, and like I had the weekend to do like my weird shit, and then I could like be tired for the beginning of the week, and then we did it on the end of the week. But like I live in for the past few weeks. I've been spending half of the week around, circa half of the week, living with my boyfriend, and like that's as far as we're ever going to move in together. But that means like that it's been harder to reason because on Monday and Tuesday I'm not going there because I'm it's way too late when I get off of work, so I'm not going to be able to spend any time with his kid and stuff like that. And uh, so like I come there on Wednesday, and then I go back home on Thursday to record it, and then I spend a weekend at his place, uh, and that's kind of I've decided that I wanted to take some more time getting like that kid is an important part of my life right now. So like we're getting still getting to know each other, but we are very much like it's an important, and I'm an important part of her life now, which is interesting. I got it's nice. But yeah, that means that now the best days for me are all of a sudden Monday and Tuesday because I'm not doing anything anyway those nights, like except for like hanging around his home.
yeah. So yeah, that won't
Uh,
happen for at least another. I'm not gonna
yeah, not
put.
next week.
Uh, it will
Yeah,
happen when it happens, and we will let you know. So yeah,
yeah,
that is gonna happen in the future.
yeah,
So yeah, don't worry. Um, the time will be the same.
yeah.
Unless you know, Max feels like that's not working for her. But
It's
again,
the perfect time.
it's a but yeah. So yeah. So yeah. So don't worry for now.
Yeah.
But obviously we will let you
Worry about
know.
other shit instead, like how
Yeah.
the slowly marching time, how the slow march up time is just leading you one step closer to the graves. All of you, everyone listening to this is now at least 2 hours older than when you started listening, and like you're
Yeah.
2 hours closer to death. That's what you should be worried about.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
sorry
if
to anyone
I
I gave anxiety to there. I have death anxiety myself. I know
if
what it's like.
yeah,
That's what
if it was a choice of being in a room with both Kellie-Jay and Linehan, I'd rather just like bury myself, like dig my own grave. Like I'm not joking.
Show me to the room, please. No, I'm not going to stab anyone. Don't stab people, Max. That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
I hope my landlord didn't fucking hear that.
Yeah. But anyway, that's
Yeah.
episode 58 done and dusted. We will see you in next week's episode where we will be talking about the weirdly homosexual fuckery that is Freddy's Revenge Part 2.
By the way, if you can get a hold of that one, like there's a documentary that I would recommend you watch about this. Like it's called um Scream Oh, it's about like the what is it? Scream uh Scream Queen something. It's on Tubi, I know. Scream
Oh, Scream
Queen
Queen. Yeah.
yeah, Nightmare. Yeah, it's called Scream Queen My Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's like hold on, this is the cover. I don't know if you saw it. Like it's a documentary about the actor who plays like what's it called? Mark something Patton, I think. Uh, it's a very good documentary, I think. And like that's well, we can do that some other time. But like it's his relationship to because he basically he was gay. And that film is so gay that he basically like got outed by making it. Like that's uh and it's a very interesting. It's on Prime as well. I can highly recommend that documentary anyway, if you want more context around like the legacy of that film. Because it is very weird and it is very gay and it is like that fact has haunted a lot of people who were a part of it since then because like it was done in a time where you couldn't be open about it. So it's very interesting,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm going to have a lot to say about it. So I can't wait for next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
I will check that documentary out.
yeah,
Like I said, I'll probably watch it over the weekend.
yeah,
And I'll obviously write down my thoughts on that. So yeah, that
yeah,
would be it. Um, so yeah. So until next week,
yeah.
we will leave it there. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Again, as always, if you do decide to do drugs, be careful. You know, make sure that you are in a safe place and a safe place and a safe space. And yeah, we will
Yeah, and
leave it.
make sure not to record it and like upload it to me social media or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. um, oh, what you saw there, like, let us know if you think Max was acting there. Let us know.
Did I do that for real or not? I
Yeah.
want to know.
Uh, yeah. But anyway, yeah, that would be it. Um, enjoy your weekend, and
Yeah,
I'm
have a
sure,
great one.
yeah, and I will speak to you either over the weekend or if not, I will see I will see you next week.
Yeah,
So yeah,
bye.
right, let me stop